Lori here today with a really fun scrapbooking process video. Today I'm making a traveler's notebook page that is going in my traveler's notebook scrapbook for last year. I decided to give up on Project Life because I don't have time and instead make a traveler's notebook that would document all of the trips and fun places I went last year. So today I'm working on a page for my trip to Orlando in the beginning of January. So I've started here and I grabbed my photos and my traveler's notebook just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing. And I'm using these really cool traveler's notebook page protectors that come from Freckled Fawn. And today I'm going to be using just supplies that I had on my desk, as well as wonderful sequins and embellishments from Spiegel Mom Scraps. So I'm actually the January guest designer for Spiegel Mom Scraps, and I'll show you the sequins and wood veneer that I'm using in just a moment. But if you want to check out Spiegel Mom Scraps, there's a link in my description below, and I'll also put a coupon code for you so that you can get a discount off of awesome embellishments, because I love her sequin mixes. They're just so pretty. So I have 3 Polaroid type photos that I'm going to use today, which you can see there. And I know the camera's really slow right now, but I wanted to make sure that I got a chance to say my intro before I got rudely cut off and ran out of time. So I am going to speed it up here in just 1 minute. So don't worry, it's not going to be this slow the whole time, I promise. And I have those 3 photos, and I'm just using like pattern papers and things that were on my desk. Just because I had really little time to scrapbook lately, I didn't want to pull everything out. Instead, I just wanted to use what I had in hand's reach. So I have the rustic stars, I have the sparkly effervescence, the rustic hearts, the winter icons, and then 2 of her sequin mixes, this really cute blue one and this really cute white one. And I'll leave a link for all the ones that I'm using down below in the description so you can check them out. Originally, I thought I would use 2 photos, but I ended up deciding to just use 1 because I wanted to have enough space to do all my journaling. So basically what I've decided in this awesome traveler's notebook journal is that I would do 1 page for every day of the trip. So this Orlando trip was, I think, like 8 days, and so each day would get 1 page. And honestly, like, I know that that's not a lot for a travel journal, but I thought it's the only way that it's going to actually get documented and get in there, and I won't take up too much space. And I kind of like the idea of having all of the places I visited, because I traveled a lot last year, in 1 traveler's notebook cover. And then if I want to document any of the trips, like the special ones, like the cruise that I went on or my brother's wedding, I can do those separately as well, like have their own mini album or own album, but then at least this year would all be in 1 traveler's notebook. So that's kind of what I was going with. So I grabbed this pink paper from a paper pad that just happened to be sitting next to my desk. I think it's a crepe paper Christmas one. And then I had some of this pink paisley Paige Evans paper just sitting on my desk too from a different project. And I decided to just use a teeny tiny bit of that. I think I used just some pink paper and then some of the word strips on another page. And honestly, I really just wanted to keep this page simple and sweet because I'm gonna have the whole trip documented, and this first trip is just like the first page that I'm doing here. I'm just documenting how excited I am to get to go to Orlando because the weather has been so cold in Toronto. I mean, it's always cold in January, but last year at this time it was really cold, and so I wanted to be able to document just how excited I was to get to go to Florida and leave the snow in Toronto behind. So once I trimmed down my papers, I decided to distress the edges a little bit, and I just did that by opening my scissors and taking the blade against the edges, if that makes sense. It kind of just like roughs them up a little bit. In this album, sorry for the camera shake, I can't add too much dimension or it won't fit. So I'm trying to keep things fairly flat, so I thought that by just roughing up the edges a little bit, it would give some dimension without it taking up a ton of space. And on this page, I am going to use wood veneers, which I also know take up space. So I thought maybe if I don't like make it two-dimensional, it'll fit. I don't know. Let's be honest. I'll probably end up taking the pages from this traveler's notebook when they're done and putting it in two different covers because everything I do is too chunky. But I don't really care. I just want to have fun and get it documented. And I figure having a traveler's notebook kind of way of documenting my travels from last year would be a really fun way to kind of like put them all in one place. So I felt like it just needed a little bit more than that pink paper, so I added little pieces of doilies that I had kind of cut up on the side. And I'm going to stamp the date with Stays On black ink on one of the Polaroid photos and adhere that all down. And then I'll add my embellishments. So I wanted to add a little bit more of the doilies, so I'm just going to cut another piece and put it on the other side. I felt like it balanced it out a little bit more to put it on both sides of the photo cluster instead of just one. So once I had done that, I decided to adhere it, and then I was going to add my embellishments and kind of try to figure out where I wanted those. I knew that I really wanted to use these wood veneer snowflakes from Spiggle Mom Scraps Winter Icons kit because I was talking about, like in the journaling, I was going to talk about how I was so glad to get away from the snow and the cold in Canada and go to Orlando. So I felt like the wood veneer snowflakes were the perfect way to get that cold feeling that I was going for, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to test that they would work where I had planned them. And then I realized that I felt like it needed something else in addition to those wood veneers. So in the pattern paper pad from Pink Paisley, I found this piece of paper that had all these different phrases on it, and I decided to cut them up and use them on the page in a few different places. I end up doing it in 3 places, so kind of going with that rule of thirds idea. And if you don't know what the rule of thirds is, it basically means that you put embellishments or something on your page in 3 places and it's supposed to draw your eye around the page. I tend to do mine in a diagonal, or not in a diagonal, in a triangle, so that your main focal point is kind of in the middle of your triangle. So you can see mine is kind of like a stretched out triangle, but in the middle of that triangle is me, which I guess I'm the focal point of the page. Oh man, guys, you'd think I would have forgotten how to do a voiceover or something. It's been so long. No, I know it's been long, and I want to do more pages and stuff, but life has been pretty crazy, so I'm gonna just do them when I can get to them for now, and then hopefully eventually life will make space for me to be able to do more voiceovers. I mean, I don't know if that's accurate, but hopefully. For those of you who have been following me on Instagram, you know that I'm moving to Africa. I'm moving to Kenya in July this year. So leading up to that, it's been really crazy because I'm trying to get things done at work, and I have another part-time job that I'm doing to finish paying off my student loans, and I have to raise money to be able to go to Africa. So it's kind of like I'm working 3 jobs, and I'm not complaining because I'm really excited to get to move there, but it just means that I'm really busy in this current moment of my life. So I want to keep scrapbooking, and I am gonna still create. It just means that I kind of have to like fit it in when it fits, you know. And for all of those of you who might be freaking out, yes, I am still planning on scrapbooking and taking scrapbooking supplies with me to Africa, to Kenya, and I still will make process videos. The place I'm going has really good internet, and I could never give up scrapbooking because that would be like a death sentence. So don't worry. But if you want to follow my story or anything, you can head over to my blog, toribissel.com, to find out more information, or my Instagram, where I post regular stories. So when I don't have time to make YouTube videos, I'm over on Instagram posting like 10-second videos because I actually have time to do that, and it doesn't take all of the same editing and everything that YouTube does. Okay, anyways, that was a long-winded bunny trail. But I'm back on this, and I've added those word strips and those snowflake wood veneers. And now I'm going to add my sequins, and I decided to use a little bit of all of the sequins on the page, just kind of spreading them out. And to be honest, I don't think I would recommend the average person uses a hot glue gun for putting down sequins, because you could easily burn yourself. But I do it all the time, probably because my fingers are like burnt off. But also right here I decided to just use my tweezers just to show you an idea of how you could do it with tweezers if you didn't want to like hold the sequin and try to glue it down. But honestly, I kind of hate the tweezers, so I give up on those after a little while and just kind of do it myself because it's easier. Alternatively, if you didn't want to be a rebel and like, I don't know what you call it, like a risk taker, and use your hot glue gun to glue down little tiny itty bitty sequins, you could use like a wet glue and put a dollop of glue and then put the sequin on top or something like that, and it probably is more like effective and safer. Well, I don't know about effective, but it's definitely more safe than using a hot glue gun to glue down like 1 millimeter sequins. But I don't know, I'm a weirdo. And I mean, it doesn't really bother me, and I feel like the hot glue gun keeps it down really well, so that's why I go with that. Anywho, if you're wondering how I decided where to put the sequins, it's very random. I kind of just put them wherever I feel like it looks good, but generally like kind of in odd numbers around my wood veneer snowflakes is kind of the rule of thumb. I wanted it to kind of look as if the sequins were like snowing on my page, if that makes sense, because I'm talking about snow and cold, so if it looks like the sequins are like falling kind of like snow and it just adds that really pretty sparkle, that's kind of what I was going for. But honestly, wherever you put them is probably going to look good, so I wouldn't stress yourself out about that too much. So once I had put all the sequins down where I wanted them, and I used all the different packs there, the white ones, the blue ones, the sparkly effervescent ones too, I'm just going to add a little bit of journaling, and I'm just journaling about what I had already told you about and put that in the bottom corner. And then I'm going to also add a little bit to the left above my head, just because there was an empty space there, and I wanted to say one more thing, like where I was going and where I was kind of thing on the page, so I add that there too. And then after I was done, I felt like I wanted to add one more wood veneer, and I decided to go with the wood veneer rustic heart and just stick that to the side, just to also have you pay attention to that part of journaling. So there you have it. I'm going to hold it up so you guys can check it out, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this quick process video. Thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget to check out Spiegel Mom Scraps. I'll put a link and the code below in the description. And if you want to check out close-up videos, join me on Instagram, on my Facebook page, or on my blog, toribissel.com. Links for all of that are below. See you guys soon, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Bye!